So today I'm going to go ahead and create a little winter scene. So I'll show you how I'm actually going to do that. And I'm going to use a number 6 filbert brush, which is actually a little bit rounded. Let's see if I can show you that. A little rounded on the top and flat on the sides. So it's great for drawing. So we're going to draw a little picture real quick. Going to take a little odorless mineral spirits and a little bit of the phthalo blue. Let's create, let's go like this, create a little image, get an idea where we want to go ahead and put all the stuff. Let's go like that. So now, because we have the titanium white and linseed oil on here, it's actually going to go on nice and smooth. And we don't want this thick, we just want it to be a thin layer of paint so it actually blends really well. Get a little bit more. Let's try this side. Let's go. Now, I'm doing this because I'm going to go ahead and create a bridge right through here, and I want to actually give it some detail. So it's nice having some kind of pattern, or in this case a drawing, to help show where it's actually going to be. The other benefit is it actually allows you to put paint where you need to put paint and not put paint in other places. So we're going to do a little tree right in through here. And this is more like a sketch, so it does not have to be perfect, but again, more of a guide than anything else. So you don't have to draw out the whole thing, but at least get an idea where you want to put some stuff. A little bit more mineral spirits. Let's mix them with the white that's already on there. That's all right. And put it over here. So now I want to go ahead and do a bridge right on through here. So let's see. Let's go. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to do a good enough guide where you can actually follow it. Put some more trees back here. Now because this is still wet, if you want to take some of it off, just make sure your brush is dry. Wipe it off on a paper towel. And now you can kind of carve out some stuff. So stand back and see if that's actually what you're looking for. Let's go ahead and we're going to put another tree right in through here. Just fine tuning a little bit. Alrighty, so now I'm going to wash the brush, and now we're going to go ahead and start from the background and go forward. We could paint over some of this stuff, it's not a big deal. Like I said, it's just a guide to show you where to go. So if you've gotten that far, doing awesome, give me a thumbs up, and let's move on to the next step. So now I'm going to use a 1-inch brush, just a regular house brush. I'm going to dip it into the phthalo blue, and I added some violet to the palette. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that here pretty soon. So now I'm just tapping this. It actually helps level out the paint that's actually in the brush and actually make sure that it gets the entire bottom of the brush all coated. So we don't want to use a ton of this, but now we can start on the sky. Let's go ahead and just crisscross strokes. And again, these drawings back here, especially for the trees, are more of just a guide to get it going. So now I'm going to my 2-inch brush. We're just going to smooth this out a little bit by going back and forth. Now I want it a little darker through here, so I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more of the phthalo blue and just scrub it in here. And back to the 2-inch brush, we'll start from the bottom. The way that keeps this light, and then we'll move up to the top. And since we're going to have trees over here off to the side, we don't have to worry about the sides too much. So now I have a fan brush. I'm going to go ahead and dip it into the titanium white Make sure it gets a decent amount of paint on there. And just, you want to get the tip. You don't want to saturate the whole brush. And now, I'm going to put some clouds in here, so let's start right about here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Now again, it's still mixing with the paint underneath, which is exactly what we want. Some clouds moving in from here. So keep the clouds kind of wispy, and they're light through here, which is going to blend really well. And let's go ahead and take some and put them up through here. Last one. Probably won't see this little guy after we're done, but it'll break it up a little bit. So now grab a paper towel, and this is a blender brush. It's actually called a mop brush. They use it a lot for watercolors and stuff, but it's got really soft bristles. There's nothing on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and lightly blend this together. So I'm doing this, lightly touching it and going in circles. So it actually blends the bottom, but it does it more like in a swoopy mode. A little hair right there. This way it makes it look light and airy. And up at the top part, you don't want to mess with that too much, but you can blend it out just a tad bit. It actually helps define the cloud up here. So now, do the same thing with the rest of the clouds. Pretty simple. Easy way to make clouds, and they're very effective. Now you can mix them with different colors if you want, but in this case I wanted to keep it relatively simple and effective. Your focal point right here is going to be more on the bridge, so this way it doesn't take it away by seeing all the detail in the clouds. There we go. So I just washed the fan brush, got the titanium white off, used odorless mineral spirits, works really well, but now you want to make sure it's nice and dry. I'm going to take a little titanium white and just a really small amount of the violet and mix it in. Take just a small amount of the phthalo blue. So now back to the fan brush. Dip it in that mixture. Okay. And let's get some little trees in here. These are going to be off in the background. Okay. hard to see them here, so I'm going to grab some more of the violet. We're going to make these a little bit darker. Try this and see how this works. That's a little better. And just go back and forth and get some little trees back here. Grab some more paint. Grabbing a little bit more phthalo blue. So now you can take your blender brush and just tap these out a little bit. And help them push back to the back. So what we're doing right now is actually eliminating some of the detail and giving it a softer look. Now sometimes brushing up just really softly actually helps do that as well. Just want to be careful with how much paint you're grabbing on a canvas. Or else you end up with a big old tree that goes all the way up here. Now our bridge is getting a little bit covered up, so let's take this and just swoop it over and get rid of some of that excess paint. That way it actually helps push these trees back in the back. Do that with this too. So now I'm going to go back to the filbert brush, grab a little bit of the titanium white, come up to at least this bridge part. Let's rough this in. You can mix with the blue, so you get an idea of what we're looking at over here. Take this and bring it up to there. So let's take a little bit of the phthalo blue. Now let's add a little blue up here. And then a little through here. So now we're just kind of contouring this bank right here. A little bit more, come through here, and add a little bit of blue, so it helps give it a little bit of dimension. Make it look like it's got some hills through here. So now we're going to block this in, the bridge. So we're going to take some Van Dyke brown and lighten it up a little bit with yellow ochre to get a medium brownish color. And still using the filbert brush. So it's a light brown. And make sure you don't have too much on a brush, just enough so you can actually go ahead and draw this in here. And let's put that in right through here. It's going to be a little cobblestone type bridge. Alright, so we'll take a little bit of the darker brown, and we'll keep some of that paint on the brush with the yellow ochre, which will keep it lighter, but we do want it a little bit darker than what we just had. And we're going to do this back part back here. And really carefully with the tip of the filbert brush, we're just going to go ahead and do another archway behind it. A little light, so trying to make sure you get the shadows in there so you get some contrast, so you can actually see the back side of the bridge versus the front side. We'll go back to the filbert brush and grab just a little bit on the tip, and carefully we'll start it underneath and get wider at the bottom. Now let's take a little cad yellow, a little bit of cad red, right here. So we're going to put a lamppost right here. So right now we're doing a glow. I'll try to get as much of that in there before we start adding some of these other colors. Now let's take a little bit of the yellow, titanium white, little yellow. Get the blending brush and let's just blend this out a little bit. Take a flat brush, smaller flat brush, dip it into this really dark color here. Okay, let's go ahead and do this area right here. So what I want to do is continue some more really faded out trees back here in the background because they're kind of in the distance. So we're going to grab the 1-inch brush, just dip it into that light violet that we had. So it's just violet mixed with some titanium white. Let's just tap in a little color back here. Just back and forth. Take another one right through here. Make this one lighter. Take it right back here. Let's grab some titanium white, mix with a little bit of the phthalo blue. So we want a really light blue. Mix that with a little bit of the mineral spirits, and it thins it down. So a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Just now take a little bit more of the blue. A little bit more mineral spirits. Thin it down. Actually, let's get a little bit of the violet too. This one. Take some more of the green. A little bit more of the phthalo blue. Get another one to go right here. Alright, let's mix up some yellow ochre, a little brown, take a little yellow ochre and brown with a palette knife, and let's put in a little tree trunk. We'll get it on this one as well. Good, and go back to the white. And get some snow on these little guys. Grab some white and a little bit of the darker color. Grab some more titanium white. Darker color.